Right now, the global luxury goods market is valued at over $350 billion. But if you look at the clinical data, the vast majority of that staggering revenue is not coming from the actual financial elite. It is being directly extracted from the checking accounts of the arrogant, financially illiterate middle class. There is a deeply guarded psychological loophole in the modern economy, a system designed to actively weaponize your own ego against you, ensuring that you voluntarily trade your permanent equity for temporary, synthetic status. The window to recognize and override this biological programming is closing rapidly. As macroeconomic instability accelerates, the cost of funding your financial delusions is becoming terminal. If you ignore the clinical breakdown I am about to provide today, you are mathematically guaranteeing your own poverty for the rest of your life. We are going to expose the exact psychological mechanisms that Wall Street uses to exploit your insecurities, why your desire to look rich is the exact reason you remain broke, and how you can ruthlessly murder your ego to build true, untouchable sovereignty before it is too late. Why is the broke consumer arrogant? Society has normalized a terrifying level of cognitive dissonance. You see it every single day. You see people who earn $80,000 a year driving $90,000 luxury vehicles. You see professionals drowning in $60,000 of high-interest consumer debt, yet they refuse to carry an older smartphone or wear generic clothing. They possess an overwhelming sense of unearned superiority. This is the arrogance of the broke consumer. They believe that because they have a corporate job title, a university degree, and access to premium lines of credit, they are financially successful. They look down on the plumber, the electrician, and the blue-collar worker, completely blind to the fact that the plumber owns a cash-flowing business, while they are essentially a highly paid, indentured servant to a banking institution. This arrogance is not a personality flaw. It is a calculated, engineered state of mind. The financial system requires the middle class to remain arrogant. If a broke consumer actually admitted to themselves that they were financially vulnerable, they would immediately stop spending. They would stop taking vacations on credit cards. It would artificially lower their living standards, hoard their capital, and aggressively buy cash-flowing assets. If that happened on a massive scale, the entire global consumer economy would starve to death in a matter of weeks. To prevent this, the system feeds your ego. It provides you with easy access to cheap debt, allowing you to simulate the lifestyle of the wealthy without ever requiring you to build actual wealth. Your arrogance is simply a defense mechanism. It is a psychological shield designed to protect your fragile identity from the terrifying reality that you are trading your finite life force for a depreciating currency, and you have absolutely nothing of permanent value to show for it. Do not click away. The financial elite spend millions of dollars on behavioral algorithms to keep you in this exact state of denial. Every second you spend protecting your ego is a second they use to drain your future. Write this next concept down immediately. To dismantle this trap, you must look at the biological root of your consumption. What is the delusional ego of the middle class? Your brain is running an outdated, primitive operating system in a hyper-optimized financial matrix. 10,000 years ago, human beings lived in small tribes. In that environment, your perceived status within the tribe was a matter of literal life and death. If you were at the top of the social hierarchy, you gained access to the best food, the safest shelter, and you reproduced. If you were at the bottom, you were exiled and you died. Your biological brain evolved a hypersensitive, terrifyingly powerful radar for social status. It is biologically wired to constantly signal value to the rest of the tribe. The delusional ego of the middle class is born when this primitive survival instinct collides with modern consumer marketing. Corporations understand your evolutionary biology infinitely better than you do. They know that your amygdala is terrified of looking poor because historically, looking poor meant death. So they engineered the perfect solution: synthetic status. When you finance a luxury watch or a designer wardrobe on a middle-class salary, you are not buying craftsmanship. You are not buying quality. You are buying a ridiculously expensive, temporary psychological anesthetic. You are trying to signal to strangers in a coffee shop that you are an apex predator, while your bank account proves you are the prey. True financial elite, the individuals who actually control the capital of the world, do not play this game. They do not need to signal their value to the tribe because they own the ground the tribe is standing on. They drive reliable, understated vehicles. They wear blank clothing. They are obsessed with becoming invisible, while the broke consumer bleeds their net worth dry just to be noticed. How does fake status destroy true wealth? The brutal mathematics of fake status is what permanently locks the doors of the middle-class prison. Let us examine the clinical reality of lifestyle inflation. You secure a promotion. You get a $20,000 raise. Your logical brain should view this as an opportunity to drastically widen the gap between your income and your expenses, shoveling that surplus into index funds or real estate. But your delusional ego intercepts the capital. Your ego tells you that because you are now a senior manager, you must upgrade your apartment to match your new perceived rank. You must upgrade your vehicle to command respect in the corporate parking lot. Your consumption rises in direct, parallel proportion to your income. You make more money, but your net worth remains absolutely stagnant. This is the catastrophic cost of the middle-class ego. You are voluntarily destroying your own compounding leverage. When you spend $2,000 to upgrade your wardrobe and soothe your insecurities, you did not just lose $2,000. You lost the 30-year exponential growth of that capital. You traded tens of thousands of dollars in future freedom for a momentary spike of dopamine and the fleeting approval of people you secretly despise. Worse, you are almost certainly funding this fake status with consumer debt. You are paying a massive 25% premium to banks for the absolute privilege of destroying your own wealth. It is financial suicide, masked as success. Pay extreme attention right now. This next psychological loop is the exact reason why highly educated professionals work until the day they die. If you do not sever this cognitive link today, no amount of income will ever save you. You have to look closely at how you justify this self-destruction to yourself. Why does retail therapy prove you are trapped? The broke consumer uses a very specific, highly predictable narrative to protect their ego. They call it retail therapy. They call it treating themselves. Finish a grueling 60-hour work week. You are physically exhausted and emotionally hollow. You look at your bank account and you feel the despair of the corporate grind. So you book an expensive weekend getaway, you order premium food delivery, you buy a luxury item, and you look in the mirror and tell yourself, I worked hard, I deserve this. That sentence, I deserve this, is the mating call of a financial slave. Believing that a luxury reward is required to survive a standard work week is the exact cognitive dissonance that guarantees your poverty. Let me give you the clinical truth. If you have to engage in retail therapy to self-medicate the pain of your corporate job, you are not a successful, high-value professional. You are a hostage. You are a highly profitable, perfectly domesticated variable on a corporate spreadsheet. When you use your paycheck to buy comfort, you are taking the finite capital you generated through your own blood, sweat, and stress, and handing it directly back to the system that engineered your exhaustion in the first place. You do the labor, you absorb the biological damage, and you immediately return the money to the owners just to feel normal again for 48 hours. Retail therapy is not a reward. It is a highly efficient mechanism designed to recycle your salary back to Wall Street. Your ego tells you that you are buying happiness, but the math proves you are financing your own submission. Wall Street exploits your financial insecurities. Wall Street absolutely loves your arrogance. They depend on your delusional ego. The entire credit card industry, which generates billions of dollars in compounding interest every single quarter, is built on the mathematical certainty that your ego will eventually override your logic. Banks aggressively market credit cards using the language of exclusivity and elite status. They give the card a heavy metal design. They call it the reserve or platinum tier. They know that your deep biological insecurity makes you desperate to feel important. They offer you 1% cashback to bypass your critical thinking, knowing with statistical certainty that when your ego forces you to buy a lifestyle you cannot afford, they will harvest 25% in interest. They weaponize your insecurities. They know that you are terrified of looking like a failure in front of your social circle, so they provide the exact financial instrument needed to maintain your illusion. Look at what happens to the capital you surrender to them. The financial elite do not use your interest payments to buy designer clothing. They use the cash generated by your fragile ego to acquire commercial real estate. They use it to buy equity in global corporations. They use your money to buy cash-flowing assets that solidify their generational empires. The ultimate asymmetry of the modern economy is this. The middle class trades their permanent equity to purchase temporary, synthetic status. The elite trade temporary, synthetic status to purchase your permanent equity. Every time you swipe your card to protect your ego, you are acting as an unpaid fundraiser for the exact institutions that keep you trapped. How to kill your ego and build true sovereignty. The individuals who actually escape this financial matrix do not do it by accident. They do not get lucky. They escape through a radical, violent shift in their identity. If you want to build true wealth, you must completely and ruthlessly murder your middle-class ego. You must accept that your desire for status is the exact weapon being used to drain your life force. The elite protocol is absolute. You must become deeply, genuinely comfortable with looking poor. You must separate your self-worth from your consumption. When you stop caring about the opinions of broke people, you instantly reclaim your financial power. You execute this through automation. You artificially create scarcity in your checking account. The moment your paycheck hits, the majority of the capital is instantly divided and transferred into aggressive investment vehicles before your ego has a chance to spend it. You force yourself to live on a fraction of your income. You drive the 10-year-old vehicle. You wear the blank, generic clothing. You absorb the social friction and the strange looks from your peers because you understand a fundamental mathematical truth that they do not. You view every single dollar as a soldier in your own private army. You do not send your soldiers to die in a retail store just to impress a stranger. You deploy your soldiers to capture territory. You buy index funds. You buy equity. You build cash flow. In 10 years, the peers who judged you for looking broke will still be begging their corporate managers for a 3% raise. They will still be drowning in the debt of their synthetic status. But you will have achieved absolute dictatorial control over your time, your physical location, and your energy. You have a choice right now. You can close this video, go back to your routine, and continue financing the illusion of your success while Wall Street drains your future. You can keep protecting your fragile ego. Or you can wake up, kill the delusion, and start building an empire in the shadows. The exact psychological frameworks required to execute this transition are not taught in schools, and they are actively suppressed by the algorithm. Subscribe to this channel right now to secure your access to the elite money mindset before this information is buried forever. Master your mind. Build your fortress. See you in the next protocol.